Welcome back, everyone. And in today's video, I would like to take a look at comparing the diminished scales. Up to this point, we've taken a look at the fully diminished scale, which is whole, half. That's the pattern for it. And so here you can see we've got whole, half, whole, half, whole, half, whole, half. And we've also looked at the dominant diminished scale, which is half whole. And again, we have half whole, half whole, half whole, half whole, so on and so forth. Now, what I'd like to do is take a look at these two scales and how they relate to each other. The way that we're going to do that is we are going to cancel out every other scale degree. So if I go ahead and cancel out this, and just kind of going through and skipping over every other, what we should notice is what is left. Well, what is left is that's the same, those are the same, these are the same, these are the same, and obviously these are going to be the same because these are the last. And so what's interesting is that they end up being the same. And so we're going to look at this as our reduced form. So this is our reduced form of the diminished scale. And the reason why it's a reduced form is because this is sort of the common denominator between a fully diminished and a dominant diminished scale. So a couple of other interesting points. What is the interval here? Well, if you think about it, a whole plus a half is the same thing as a half plus a whole. So this is going to be 3 half steps, which is also 3 half steps here, which is also 3 half steps here, which is also 3 half steps here. In terms of actual unique notes, we're only going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this would start over, right? Because that's a new octave. So we're only going to get 4 actual unique notes. So let's kind of write this out here where it's a little cleaner. So we would have something like C, E flat, F sharp, A. So we have C, E flat, F sharp, and A. And just for kind of clarity's sake, for the moment, what I'd like to do is flip that F sharp into a G flat. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and kind of analyze this a little bit. If I call this a 1, then my E flat would be flat 3. And if I look at G flat, that would be a flat 5. Now I understand that F sharp is not quite the same thing as a G flat, but enharmonically they are equivalent. Now, if I look at an A note, what I'm going to really consider this A to be is, how about we call this B double flat? Okay, so instead of A, we'll call it B double flat. And if I do that, then now I can actually call this double flat 7. And now I actually end up with this this tetrachord: 1 flat 3, flat 5, and double flat 7. And that's an interesting result out of that. And this is something that we got from the reduced form of the scale. And this actually happens to be a diminished 7th chord. Okay, so that is the formula to building a diminished 7th chord. And as you can see, that diminished 7th chord is, in a sense, it's embedded into the fully diminished, and it's embedded into the dominant diminished scale. So in the reduced form, right, it's in both sides of that scale. So that's just kind of an interesting little result that, that occurs with that. Each one of these is going to be a minor third. All right, so we could also look at this as being stacks of minor thirds. And so we have a minor third here. This is a minor third interval here. And this is a minor third interval here. Okay, so from here to here is a minor third, from here to here is a minor third, and from here to here is a minor third. So it's just stacks. It's sequential stacks of minor thirds. So this is the scale that you would get if you could just simply stack minor thirds on top of each other. In our future videos, we are going to look at how to build the augmented scale. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. If you've really enjoyed what you've seen so far, please just go ahead and click that subscribe button for me. It'll help keep us going so we can put out more great content for you.